Can Zeke deke again? It's the coach, and you're watching Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, Ezekiel Elliott, fresh off 100 yards a week ago. Coming up, we'll see the visiting Atlanta Falcons taking on the San Francisco 49ers. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We're about 40 miles south of Candlestick Point as we welcome you inside Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Atlanta Falcons and the San Francisco 49ers. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, you take a look at these 49ers as they interplay here. It's been a great start to the season. Back-to-back wins to begin the campaign.
Yeah, you don't want to get too excited. There's still a lot of season to go, but they've come out playing good fundamental football, and that might carry them a long way.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Falcons, they come in at an early crossroads here, facing a tough opponent on the road where a loss would make them 0-3.
And when you start that way, doubts really start to creep into a locker room, and guys start to battle each other instead of worrying about winning games.
As of this morning, summer officially over. It's time for autumn football, and we're underway on EA Sports. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. And they will be led out by their 6'3" quarterback.
And what I enjoyed in preparing for this game was talking not just with the coaching staff, but with him as well. And I found it interesting that the coaching staff sees him one way, and he sees himself an entirely different way.
Yeah, one thing he said he's always working on, we know he's not bad at this, but his footwork, always wants to improve that, and that's something he's going to focus on here.
And what was so funny, what the offensive coordinator say right off the top, he's got great footwork. Love his footwork. So this guy is never satisfied.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Tech McKinley. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9.
And so much for that great field position to start the game. Now they're way behind the sticks. Can't wait to see what their second down call is going to look like now.
Gone, gone. Gone, gone. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long.
Lucky 56.
They'll set up a throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Incomplete. Both players were there offensively and defensively, but it falls incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. And trotting out there, their tall quarterback standing at 6'5".
I read something prepping for this game that he said prior to, and I think he really said it a few months ago, where he talked about he wants to have the type of season that at the end, he's buying gifts for all the guys who have helped him along the way. And I know that the team wants to hold him to that and really get into his wallet. But that's what good leadership gives you. You know, at the end of the season, because you've done a great job, QB, he's usually the guy who springs for the good stuff.
And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now let's go.
On second down, Elliott. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Just a couple on the ground there, and that's going to bring up third and about 6.
2 yards on the first down carry, and then followed up by 2 yards on the second down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Now they're going to need 6 on third down to keep the drive going.
Back to throw here. Toward the sideline, and he will have the first down as he was able to keep the feet in bounds. They give him 7 yards on the play, and they do pick up the conversion on third down.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done. Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
Set. 3-19.
The give is to Elliott. And he's got this one across midfield in the 49er territory. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size and these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. He'll get a couple yards on that one, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. And the punter's on the sideline. Here's the field goal unit now to try an exceptionally long one. This to equal Matt Prater's record. It's a 64-yard attempt. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. So there you go, partner. How about that?
Oh, that was pretty cool.
That will tie the all-time record set by Matt Prater of the Broncos back in 2013.
And you know, when Prater hit from 64, that was like breaking DiMaggio's streak or breaking the 4-minute mile of Bannister. Tom Dempsey, 63, that was a legendary number. So to top that here, even if it just ties the record, pretty darn awesome.
A handoff to Harris to begin the drive. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Now he steps away. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Good coverage that time by the linebacker, Deion Jones.
Now that's twice now already in this first quarter that he's been able to knock a ball away.
They're going to need that from him and plenty more if they want to slow down this passing game. Thus far, though, he's been a ball magnet.
They're going to look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here, too. He may get a few more tacked on for good measure. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they're marching off another 15 against your squad.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. They go play action here on 1st down. Oh, he's able to out-muscle him here as he pulls it in.
Holding offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack back at the 47-yard line. Grady Jarrett able to collapse the pocket and drop him for a loss of a yard. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Check nickel.
They'll drop to throw. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Tack McKinley in there to get him for his 2nd sack of the night. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center.
2nd quarter now. And Charles Davis with you. It's the 49ers in control of the football. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up.
Gone! Wide!
They'll look to throw here. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Stephon Tuitt, the former Notre Dame man, in there to drop him yet again, and he must be shell-shocked back there. That's now back-to-back-to-back sacks, and it's 4th down. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out.
And the Niners get there and bring him down.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
They'll look to throw. And finding the tight end Hooper. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Hurry up, here we go!
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long?
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, here we go.
He'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
That'll go as a 39-yard punt, give him 9 on the return. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. And San Francisco gets set to go here. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off at the 38, and he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line.
Well, there definitely was some juice on that pass. And while tight ends don't always have the same reputation for hands as wide receivers do, in this case, that ball was expected to be caught.
So out come the Falcons now. But what do you think? You get the ball at the turnover near the middle of the field. You take a shot here in the first play?
You know I'm big on that. I love when I have great field position. After a turnover, I feel like I might have a little bit off balance. I prefer to take a shot, but a lot of coaches will tell you, you only do it if you trust the guy who's got the football in his hands. Meaning, if it's not there, he won't force it downfield and maybe turn it into an interception. He'll go to the check down, go to a second option, and go ahead and take the play that's in front of him.
That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7.
Now let's go.
Looking to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work, and that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a 1st down.
Green, 39. Green.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Ridley. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down. He's been the forgotten man in this first half. Not a guy you want to forget. Not only his first catch, first time they've targeted him.
That doesn't make any sense, does it?
Not
because
at all.
Those are the types of plays that he provides. When he does come alive, when they do look his way, not only is it a big catch, it's a 1st down.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. My good friend Charles and I right back at you after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman and have a look back at our first half, as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. They'll look to throw. His throw caught at about the 5. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another 1st. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
And now the 49ers signal for a timeout defensively, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. 2nd and goal from the 6 this time.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. And the 49ers going to take another timeout as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Set. 3-19. 3-19.
He'll drop to throw. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
And
And his kick is good. And that will make it 6-0. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
This will be fielded at the 8. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off.
This is caught inside the 15. And he takes this thing way down into Atlanta territory. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. 49ers with their first trip to the red zone thus far. They've got a 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Back to throw. Flushed out right. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away but could not. Tech McKinley in there to get him again. The 3rd time he sacked him here tonight.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
On play action, they'll throw. Steps away to his left. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
A big play to start the drive got him in this position, but this defense has held firm since, and now it's 3rd and goal. They'll set up to throw. He dropped it. Couldn't hang on in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. "15 seconds, all that remains for this first half as they come up 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
They start on the ground with Elliott. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Detroit!
And we will skip the Highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the second half gets underway. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 53 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. A first down carry by Elliott. They'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. A dump off to Elliott. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm. Wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
4th down now as San Fran's defense was strong in coverage. Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or worse.
Here's a look at the 49ers offense as they make their way out for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve.
Detroit! Detroit! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Eluding the pressure right. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes after saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now back to throw. They'll set up the screen to Elliott. And out of bounds across the 15-yard line. Give him 6 on the screen, but now it's 3rd down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
The Falcons on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5.
Here we go. 3-19.
Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And this is going to be incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's only able to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
On 3rd down, that's Harris. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield. Guy can take it the distance, but in short yardage, trying to pick up first downs, that big guy, always a nice luxury to have, isn't he?
Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they move this all the way down to the 9. That goes for a gain of 31.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. He'll get it up the middle. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. Back now here in Santa Clara. It's 49er football, but some ground to cover. They find themselves behind as we hit the 4th and final quarter. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal.
Now, lucky 56, lucky 56. Gone, 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 gone.
His pass caught at the 4. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. As his guys are in for 6. And the Niners are a point away from leading this game.
A good tight end is a heck of a weapon for any quarterback, especially when you're able to create some mismatches. Sometimes they work against a linebacker, sometimes they work against a smaller defensive back. But when they find it, they go to it, and it often results in touchdowns.
Extra point tacked on by Lambeau. And they have taken the lead here in this fourth quarter. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A good pick up there, 26 yards.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely great start. Two nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that?
Let's go. 3-19.
Again to Elliott. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. He was locked in last week, NFC Offensive Player of the Week in Week 2.
Clear some space in the trophy room. He won it last week. He's thinking he's going to get a few more before this season is over, maybe even starting with this game.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. And that'll be hauled in by the tight end. It's Hooper for the Falcon touchdown. Austin Hooper, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Falcons have taken the lead here in the 4th.
And that touchdown ends a streak, for lack of a better word, of 3 field goals that they put on the board previously. They finally cracked the code.
Yeah, they've been down there. They've been in enemy territory, as you said. They just hadn't been able to punch it in until that point. And he's got it. So the 2-point conversion is good, and they add on to their 4th quarter lead. And, of course, on the 2-point try, had the option to run or pass. They pass it there, and it works.
Felt pretty straightforward, didn't it? An open receiver, ball's put on him, 2 points for them.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Detroit! Detroit!
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He's going to look deep down the field. And this is caught at the 20. A big play there for the Niners. 55 yards.
Well, there's simply no sense in wasting a great catch like that on a short gain. Get downfield like you just did there and use it up that way.
No dink and dunk. So the field flips here as they'll go to work at the 20 now on 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And incomplete, he dropped it in the end zone. We have not seen a whole lot of wide open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Now Harris. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
Now they'll run it on the toss.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
And this third down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. They'll set up a throw. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Now, Barney! Gun! Detroit! Gun!
Back to throw here. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. He's back to throw. And it's complete. In the end zone. Touchdown 49ers. In for the score. And the 49ers are within an extra point of tying this thing up. Well, the hard part's done. Now they just need to split the posts, tie it up, but then their defense is going to have to hold up to send it to overtime.
Yeah, no matter what. I know there's an inclination in it when you have momentum to go for 2 here, but if you miss it, you don't give your defense a chance at all.
Plus, it's been a good game. I want to see overtime. I'm selfish.
You obviously don't have a flight to catch.
Tomorrow. This will be taken short. And not a particularly good return here as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. The numbers tell the story. Not the best start, but it's not often how you start, it's how you finish. And since that start, he's been good.
Can you just imagine what was going on in the locker room with the defensive coordinator? Because things were working so well. His game plan was in effect.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. And for the defense, their 3rd sack of the game.
That number tells you that they're starting to put it together with their defensive game plan. They're starting to feel pretty good about what the offense is doing, bringing the pressure at the right time, and putting the quarterback on the ground.
Here we go. Blue landed.
They're going to look to throw. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. A good pick up there of 20 yards. Throw right side, caught by Ridley. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. They'll drop to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. They'll look to throw here. It's caught inside the 25. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down.
Hurry up, here we go.
16.
Lucky 56.
Now San Francisco going to call their
Defense.
second timeout as the clock will stop with 35 seconds left to go.
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
10th carry now for Elliott. And he's able to get this inside the 10 now to the 9. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in this football game. The Falcons on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation.
All right, here we go. Green 39.
They'll try and run for it with Elliott. Broken tackle. And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game. A game-winning field goal would be a chip shot from here. Let's see how they play it on first and goal.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Now Elliott. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. And now the Niners going to signal for their third and final timeout as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's second and goal. They come out here in the eye. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he's in for the touchdown. And in the final seconds, forget overtime. They've just likely won this thing in regulation.
I don't know how many more of these my heart can take, my man. I just don't know. Another big touchdown late in the game. They look like they're in control, but still, there's a chance. Block the extra point, go down and score, kick the extra point themselves. They can pull this one out.
Yeah, but also on the sideline that just took the lead, you got to get your defense ready and the special teams unit for the kickoff coming up.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Got to pull everyone together and make sure they're still focused and aren't already celebrating a win.
The 49ers getting set to trot out there. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you've got to worry on defense. Of course, no one getting behind the defense and make it an easy throw. But nowadays, it's not just the ball being tipped in the air and people in the end zone in a cluster. It's that guy that's short in the end zone who comes up and ends up making the play because he goes unguarded. So there's a lot to think about if you're playing defense in this situation.
We'll see if they can cover all their bases. Back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by Avonte Maddox. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
They go down to a knee and a sigh of relief as they are into the win column for the first time this year. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Atlanta, they're into the win column now as they move to 1-2 on the young season. And they will head home next week to take on the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile,